Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV. I'm your host Stuart Wilders. It is great to see you all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. Hopefully you've already pressed the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. If you haven't, what are you doing? Go and press that button right now. Click the like button. And tomorrow, on a Monday even, when you're driving to work, you can listen to us on iTunes, on Stitcher. Jeez, that's your fault, Tom. Thank you very much for that. I have to edit that bit out. Stitcher, TuneIn, and Spotify. That's right, Stitcher, not Snitcher, as Tom and Martin would have you believe. Welcome. What's tonight? Tonight is all about Sweden, all about Australia, all about Italy. We are going to take you through those three countries. Stay tuned. It will be fire. So, first up, Sweden. Let's talk Melodifestivalen Semi-final Two. Last week, Sweden chose Victoria as their queen, Queen Victoria with Not With Me, and Mohombi's Hello to progress to the finale in Stockholm. Anna Bergendahl and Nano made it to Andreas Johnson. But there were 7 new entries this week. Has there been any upsets? Quite possibly, as we will shortly find out. So let's get straight to it, and then I can start to introduce my guests rather than do it the other way around. So song 1, Andreas Johnson, Army of Us. Martin, welcome.
Hello.
Martin, of course, from the Let Me Be the One blog and radio show. What did you make of Andreas Johnson?
As I've been noticing throughout all the national finals, they like to put on somebody who's sort of a bit, I don't know, soft rock or hard, fast pop. And this was quite a good opener. Nice gig performance. He's got a decent voice, good tune. Not that memorable, but not that bad either. So I think where it finished being in second chance was probably about right on the night.
Yeah, Elliot, was this a favourite of yours?
Not massively. I kind of expected him to go through because it is Andreas Johnson. He's done it 7 times. I think this was his 7th Melodifestivalen. So he had the fan base. It was a decent enough song. Britpop, Coldplay, Oasis sort of song. It did feel like a long 3 minutes for me, though, but I did have him in Andreas Johnson, mainly because it is Andreas Johnson. And yeah, it was fine. Decent enough show opener. There was nothing objectively bad about it, but there was nothing objectively brilliant about it either, from my standpoint.
It was no Sing For Me, was it? It was no Sing For Me back from 2007. And he feels like he's been doing this for absolutely years, Andreas Johnson. And can I just add, I want to know what cream he uses, because he has not aged at all in 12 years.
I want to know where he got those trousers from. They were so sparkly. I need a pair.
Yeah, they were. They were very sparkly. Yeah. Yeah. TK Maxx. Anyway, moving on. Other brands available. So the actual song itself, Army of Us, Martin, it was a bit forgettable, really, wasn't it? And I was quite surprised that this made it through to the Andreas Johnson. Did it surprise you?
On the night, no, because I only had 2 acts ahead of this, one of which we'll find out didn't make it as a shock. And really, I had 3 below this quite easily, so I'm not surprised that it got where it did. I mean, I don't think it's going to get out of there. I don't think it's going to get out of this second chance into the final. But it was good enough for tonight to keep him going for another time. And
is this the year of Jimmy Johnson? He seems to have popped up every Melodifestivalen since God was a boy. This year, we've seen him in I mean, he was moving from table to table, this guy, wasn't he? Elliot, Jimmy Johnson. I mean, do you sort of expect him to be in the final and with 10 songs coming?
I mean, well, the Debs have got 2, and Geeson's probably got another 2 coming as well. So it's possible we could just have 3 songwriters in the final, and then just circling. Do I see Army of Us in the final? Honestly, it depends who he's put against, because I do think this came safely in 3rd place. When I look at who else got through, it just depends who he's put up against. If he's put against Anna Bergendahl, not a chance, or I hope Anna beats him. If it's against Nano, for example, he has a chance. So it depends who else is there and depends who he's put against, really. But I can see Andreas Johnson in the final, but probably coming bottom 3 in the final in the end. But it would be some variety in the final if he does make it.
Can someone place a call out to Frederick Shempe? I mean, we haven't heard or seen him for years. I'm a bit concerned of his whereabouts. So, I mean, I think that's probably the most topical part of tonight. Where is Frederick Shempe? Somebody find him. Song 2, Malou. I Do Me, which is a song, a sentence I say quite often. Moving on, Tom, what did you make of Malou?
Oh, well, firstly, good evening, Stuart. I mean, it's
Sorry,
nice
good
to see
evening, Tom.
You know, let's have the manners here. Right, Malou, let's be honest, instantly recognisable tune. She absolutely nailed the performance. Absolutely stunning, given the fact that she's only 15 years old as well. Very confident, very self-assured, and you could tell she was just loving being up there as well. I don't think she was as nervous as you might expect someone of that age to be. And I know there are some people out there who think that she sprang a surprise tonight, but this really didn't surprise me when the name came out the hat, so to speak.
And was it? I mean, she's won the children's section of the 2017 Baltic Song Festival, so she's pretty well known in Scandinavia and she's big in the Baltics, which is always a good place to be. Were you surprised that this won this semi-final, Tom?
Honestly, based on the performances, I had it in my top 2 anyway. I did think LIAMOO was going to nab it. I did see LIAMOO perform in Gothenburg last year. And I thought, you know, that's normally a surefire sign that, you know, going to go forward. But, you know, it was a good song. And I think it was that familiarity, instant familiarity that song had with that nice contemporary edge, which I think actually just pushed it over the line into first place.
Very good. I want to turn our attention to Joe. Hi, Joe, before I forget.
Hello.
Hello. Now, Michael Rice's favourite friend. How are you?
Yes, I love Michael Rice. I don't know what anyone else says. Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Very good. I Do Me. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I thought this would get through to second chance rather than actually go straight through. Not, you know, never mind winning. I think she really appealed to the younger demographic voters, because there is a category for much younger voters there for Belfast now. I thought she was confident. She had the exuberance of youth. It was a very fresh song. She looked amazing. The dancers were all in time. She sang in tune the whole way, and I thoroughly enjoyed the performance.
Very good. And we say hello to Ness. Hey, Ness.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good
A question for you. Was the biggest shock of the night for you that that Malou looks like Jennifer Lawrence, or that she was dressed as a secretary? I'll put that out there for you.
I have to say, of all the things, I agree totally with Joe and Tom that you know, that she performed brilliantly. She was in tune. I even liked the kind of Swedish hue of her outfit, but she was dressed inappropriately for her age. You know, she was made to look a lot older than she was. And then she was dancing on a table, and I didn't really understand that. But otherwise, couldn't fault it. And I immediately thought it would get through. Yeah.
So, song 3, Oscar with I Love It. So Oscar's 21 years old. The backstory to this song is that he has a 50-year-old plus girlfriend stroke wife. Could be his girlfriend, could be his wife. Quite frankly, I don't care. But it's the backstory that the press have to find something to talk about, because clearly it wasn't the song. Björna, what did you make of this one?
Well, I actually liked his performance. I also liked the song. It wasn't my top favorite, but it wasn't bad, you know. I thought he was going to go to Andreas Johnson. I was really surprised he got last in the semi-final. I thought it was for the older gentleman in the show, the last place, but yeah, you never know. You never know.
It's good to see you, Jona. Great to see that your new hair.
Thank you.
You know, forever Belgium's favourite blonde. We'll leave that. And we're going to move to Denmark. Hey, Nicholas, how are you this evening?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very good. What did you make of Oscar?
So, see, I put him down as 5th. I expected him to be the one that just missed out. That being said, this certainly wasn't one of my favorites. I thought he would be the one getting the young voter rather than Malou. I think to have some lyrics that are more trashy than every time you bake, I want to eat cake. To have something more trashy than that, I think at least he got that going for him. No, I didn't. It was a bit trashy. It was a bit forgettable, and it was very this typical pop song that FO&O brought to Melfest a couple years ago. So yeah, there isn't really much to say about the song. I feel like I can understand why it came last, because I think people are just so tired of these basic songs that just all sound the same. I think that's why he ended up last.
I agree. I mean, I've written down here performance that is missing a song, which is how I summarised that. But I'm going to just quickly move to the ESC Fan TV couple of a century, Phil and Michelle. Good to see you. Michelle, I just want to focus on what you're wearing. You look absolutely fantastic tonight, my queen.
Thank you very much.
A question for you. What did you make of, what did you think of Oscar's box?
Oscar's box? Well, I thought it was a bit annoying, to be truthful. I mean, he didn't look the part, he didn't sing the part. What was he doing? It was all over the place. It wasn't my favourite.
It was kind of like a poor man's Benjamin Ingrosso, really, wasn't it?
Oh, don't. Oh, you still creep me out. Oh, don't ever have a young lad wink at you. It's creepy.
Yeah, well, try telling that to Oscar Enested. Anyway, moving on to song 4, Jan Malmzo. I probably mispronounced that. 86-year-old Do Walloper. He shaved his beard for the contest. Bless his heart. Competed in 1969 with a song written by the legend Benny Andersson, Hey Clown, which I'm sure we all worked out was commented on the screen on Melfest this evening. Song written by last year's Fuego writer Anders Rivhoff. God knows how this song somehow made its way to from his books. But what do we make of Jan? I've written down here out of tune throughout, but I'm keen on your take. I'm going to move to Martin.
Yeah, you've probably got it fairly spot on. In the postcard, he had a nice cardigan on, and I think that was probably about the high point of the whole thing. It seemed more like an interval act for FIK, for Albania's national final. I could imagine that being one of the multiple interval acts going along. But yeah, it's obviously a big person, big star in Sweden, but it wasn't well sung, and it just no interest for me really. I think I was doing other things while it was on for about the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds of it. So.
I've got to ask you, Martin, what in this song made you think about a good fic?
just the age of the performer, avoiding the smut. There you go. The age of the performer, and just how it was staged with the two women floating around on the park bench and that sort of thing. But there you go. Nicely
dodged. Phil, yes. Michelle, how are you? Back to you. What did you make of Jan?
Well, oh, bless him. For me, it was like when you're at a pub and it's karaoke night and everyone's had a few songs, and then little old Jan gets up from his stool at the corner of the bar and gets up and has to go.
I really, really, really want Jan to be my dad, because when I'm his age, I will be that man. That'll be me, and I'll love it. I want to be Jan.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, we may all be one day. Maybe. Will you be competing in a Melodifestivalen semi-final and coming second last?
Yeah, I could do that. Easy.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Fun for an evening. Everyone should do that in life. Go and join Melodifestivalen, do one semi-final and come second last. That should be everyone's goal in life. Hashtag goals. Song number 5, Vlad Reza, Nakna i Regna, which means naked in the rain. He's a big YouTuber and influencer. He has thousands upon thousands of followers. He made his debut in 2018 with the song Prankster, came 76 in the Swedish chart. The writers, Lucas Nathansson, John Halleman, and Chris Engberg, relatively unknown in Sweden. Question of why he was wearing plastic wrapped around his arms. Joanne, what did you make of this?
Well, I was going to ask everybody else, why was he wearing plastic around his arms? To be honest, it was I'm glad it went through. Well, it got to second chance, didn't it? He just the enthusiasm that he showed, especially when he was really chuffed about getting through to second chance. I just think he deserved it on that alone, but it wasn't a bad performance, and it was quite a catchy song, I thought personally. Not a winner, and I was shocked he actually ended up going through, but I'm glad he did. Glad for Vlad.
Glad for Vlad. Martin, are you glad for Vlad?
No, I didn't think his voice was that great, actually. Yeah, especially the quiet bits. The routine was fine, and I like the staging behind him. But yeah, I think I had him down as 5th, so I'm surprised that he got 4th. But then we obviously know why, because there was one of the obvious qualifiers didn't make it, so he's taken the slot. But yeah, it wasn't one for me.
I'm going to go to the green room. I understand Tom's got something in the chat room. Tom, how's it going over on the chat room today?
Going over on the chat room, we've got a couple of people in there. We've got David and Andy just saying hello to them. There is a comment, and Andy has said that he sees that Michelle and Phil didn't bother to get dressed tonight. He seems a bit disappointed about that. So I just thought I'd pass that feedback on.
Yeah.
But the good news is as well, Stuart, that Andy has said that he will be joining us at 9:30 for those people that are interested. That's 10:30 Central European time for a report on the San Remo contest that's currently going on in Italy.
Great.
Yay.
That's good to know. It gives me 13 minutes to pad out the next few songs. Excellent news. We're on song 6 as well, so it's given me 2 songs. Right, 7 or so minutes each. Right, we can do this, team. Let's go. Hanna Ferm and LIAMOO with the song "Hold You," and let's see if we're going to hold on this one for the full 13 minutes, hopefully. Elliot,
Well,
joining us. Hang on. Thank you for joining us this evening. Good to see you again. Remember the script. LIAMOO won Swedish Idol in 2016. He's joined by second place runner-up Hanna. They both wrote the song along with that guy again, Jimmy Jonsson. LIAMOO, very popular last year, sang "Last Breath" in last year's Melodifestivalen. What did you make of this?
Well, firstly, I think my script got lost in the post.
But those postmen.
But I think this is the one thing tonight that actually went according to the script, because this is meant to go through directly because of LIAMOO, and it did. And I honest to God think this can win Melodifestivalen, because believe it or not, a Swede emoted and I believed it, even though LIAMOO was actually more Danish, but besides the point. Yeah, I really, really liked this. This was really sweet. This felt really genuine. It's a current modern sound with a male and a female duo. It worked really nicely. The only thing I didn't like were the bed sheets in the background caught in the drawers. Like, that was just very distracting, and I did worry that one was going to wrap round them or something. We could have a horrible malfunction on stage.
To be honest, the closer they were getting, I was thinking that might have been a good thing. Yeah, I mean, everyone needs a bit of privacy from now and again. That's maybe why the bed sheets were there.
They're probably saving that for the final.
Well, yeah, I hope to never see that. Anyway, moving on. Nicholas, what did you make of LIAMOO and Hanna?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I'm glad to see that Lise Ajax old toilet paper staging is doing well. other than that, I really did enjoy this song, and I have to agree, this could very well be one of the contenders to win. I think they worked great together on stage. It's always very, very difficult to have that like connection on stage. Usually in Eurovision we see two artists kind of fighting for the spotlight, but here I feel like they shared the spotlight, they shared this song together, and I think that's what made their performance really special. And it's a very modern song, and I think this can appeal to different age groups, and obviously that's what you want to do in Melodifestivalen this year with the new voting system that favors the different age groups. So I think this could really do well in the final, and I'm excited to see how it does, because I really like it. It's one of the best we've heard so far, and definitely the best we heard today.
Yeah, here. I agree. For those UK based, go and take another look at Hanna Ferm, and you tell me she doesn't look like Megan from Love Island. It's a dead ringer. Megan from Love Island.
I have never watched that show and never will, so that's wasted on me.
Yeah, same here.
Not me.
But then we haven't
Love
admitted
Island.
that Stuart does
You
watch
were
Love
a
Island.
teenage girl.
Yeah, look, it's in my DNA. I have to go and watch stuff like that. Yeah. Bring it on. X on the beat.
Stuart, I have found Frederick Sheppard though. He'll be there next week. He's wrote John Hendricks' song, so he is alive and well.
He's alive and well. Good. Got the search party. Good. Good news all around. Yeah, beautiful, emotional ballad. Easy qualifier for me. I was really surprised it didn't win. I thought this would have won by an absolute country mile. Maybe it will in the final. Maybe. I mean, I think this could go on and win Melodifestivalen. Certainly going to compete with Victoria, Queen Victoria. Ness, let's round this off. What did you make of these two seeming lovebirds?
No, I thought they had amazing chemistry. If I'm really honest, I thought LIAMOO took his time to get into the song in the first performance. I thought he was better, and they equalised more in terms of, you know, she's got a very distinct voice, quite strong, and I felt his was slightly lackluster in that first performance, like I said, but it was much better the second time. And yeah, I willed it through, and not understanding the nuances of Melodifestivalen until Joe explained to me, you know, that I realised, yeah, it should go through, and it did, and I was thrilled. I don't know, they're just a bit like Ellen Nicky from 2011, Running Scared. They, you know, it has some reminiscence of that, but you know, it's much more modern. So yeah, really liked it.
You just take me down to a very dark place with Ellen.
Sorry, I know.
It's a better version.
Sorry.
We should have won that with Blue. What happened that year?
Right.
No, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Let's move on quickly. No to Ellen Nicky. Right. Song 7, the returning Polish superstar Margaret with the song Tempo. No, it wasn't that, was it?
Simple.
May as well have been, let's be honest. Made her debut in 2018 with In My Cabana. It's a place most guys would like to be. Finished 7th. Writers, Andreas Rebhovigan, that guy I can't pronounce. Laurel Baker, who wrote UK's A Sander last year. And of course, this year's UK song Bigger Than Us by Michael Rice. And that guy again, Jimmy Jonsson. Doesn't he get around? Someone gave him a ticket. Latin-inspired pop. Why so much Latin in Scandinavia? Maybe someone could explain that to me. I'm going to come to Jörna. Jörna, were you a fan of this song?
Oh, yes. It was my favorite this evening. And when I saw the results, I was really in shock. I was like, what? What is happening? No, it's... she was on tune. Well, the backdrop was a little cheapish with the dancers. You could see like a weird line around the dancers. I was like, they could work on that if she went through. Well, that's not a problem anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, it was my favorite to win this semi-final actually.
And Phil Michelle. This song, was this a favourite of yours? And did you have this amongst your qualifiers?
Well, yes, I had it among the qualifiers, but I felt that it was geared up to this song. They threw everything at it and went, right, this is the one. And obviously it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't, she wasn't the best singer, but it was the best sort of song and the best sort of, well, it could have been the best sort of setup. But you did feel that this was the one that they were trying to steer towards. And unfortunately, the Swedish public didn't fall for it.
For me, I mean, I also like this song. I thought it was the best one of the night. But that's kind of because I didn't like it as much either. I didn't think it was a very good semi-final, this one. She did look like she was just like my grandma's pincushion.
It was a bit sort of like the sort of right-hand side of an armchair, wasn't it? That whole thing.
Yeah. I was a bit disappointed.
Kind of like just want to sort of sleep on it. You know.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed that all those balls didn't light up. You know, she was lacking a bit.
It was kind of like she was making a video game, and that was her outfit to like move her character around.
Yeah, maybe Andy Serkis in disguise. I don't know.
All that needed was for somebody to switch on the ultraviolet light, and it would have just gone somewhere different, wouldn't it?
Can I
ping pong?
Go on, Nicholas.
Can I just say one thing? Because I had a great idea. This is like my open letter to TVP, the Polish broadcaster. So we know that Poland haven't chosen their song yet. They're waiting until the 15th of February. Like, what's stopping them from just taking Margaret, taking the song, staging it a little bit better, and just sending that to Eurovision? That's my idea.
She doesn't want to
She's
go.
not very good.
Go
She's not very
Poland.
good.
She was interviewed pre-Melodifestivalen, and she categorically said, "I'm not that interested in going to Eurovision."
Maybe she wants to go for Poland.
Maybe.
No.
No,
If they can give her some good cash for it, I'm sure she'll go.
she's
I'll do
outright,
it.
she's
I'll
outright
do it.
said after 2020, when she
I can
bombed
do
whatever year she did it, she wouldn't go to Eurovision because you can't put music first and second. Something about that. You can't judge music the way you judge sport, so she'll never do it. Is what she said in an interview about 2 years ago, which is complete and utter redacted line.
Why did she do it then?
Put it out there that I will do Eurovision for nothing. Whatever country wants me, I'll go. I'll have
Sign me up. I will have fun for 3 minutes. Just high kicks.
Oh God.
I think, Michelle, we're going to have to crowdfund you for a place in San Marino. There, take you.
We're just all going to go for San Marino next year. Let's all go for San
We'll be the
Marino.
delegation. It's fine.
How hard can it be? You lot can come with me as my delegation.
Hey.
The Queen is in residence again. Okay, so we've managed to waffle on for 10 minutes. We've got 3 minutes to kill somehow. So, hey, got to figure this one out.
We have
Over
a
in the
super
chat
final in
room,
Montenegro.
Good idea, Tom. Let's go to the chat
Yeah.
room.
over in the chat
Green
room, Claude has said regarding LIAMOO and Hannah's entry, the song was cool, the staging was cool, but didn't rate Hannah's dress.
Fine.
Which is just said that maybe that might be something that she might want to actually work on when it comes to it. Also, something that did come out of the Melodifestivalen Twitter account this evening is the fact that, in actual fact, Jan came sixth based on the age-related voting system that they've put in place this year. He actually got less votes, but because of the way the points are awarded, was actually given sixth place instead of seventh.
It's only Pyrrhic victory, though, isn't it, really?
That's a kick to Oscar, isn't it? I also did look, and this is the first time since they've had 28 songs, which is 2015. The show closer hasn't advanced in any format. Margaret is the first song in seventh not to get past the semi-final.
Oh, no, that just...
So there's a nice record for her to have.
It's great to have you on as stats, man.
And we're down to 2 songs in Montenegro. They've done the first vote, and there's the super final going on now.
Excellent.
Also, while we're talking about facts, Hanna and LIAMOO are the first duet making it to the Melfest final since 2005.
Are they a thing? Are they like a public thing outside of Melodifestivalen? Like, are they a couple?
They look like it.
I'd say, 'cause they look it. I believe it.
Yeah. Very good actors, if not.
And I ship it.
I think they've got to be, haven't they? They've got to be a couple. It's super linkable.
You never know. Me and Phil aren't together.
The rumours are true. Got it. Oh, God. Come on, Andy. Where the fuck are you?
Well, and Andy has said that Il Volo are on next in San Marino and can't believe we're not. San Remo.
San Remo.
San Remo.
Right,
I knew that.
Back to Sweden whilst we wait for our Italian correspondent who's fashionably late to join us. Do we think, and I'm going to come to Joanne with this question, was this quite possibly the worst Melodifestivalen semi-final of all time?
Yes. I've been watching it for quite a few years, and I did actually go away for a few seconds and come back. I never ever do that at Melodifestivalen, but I usually get my drink first, not my drink after. So yeah, I think it probably was the worst. Yeah. Sorry.
And Ness, what were your thoughts there? How does this stack up against other semi-finals that you've watched of recent times, like last week, for instance?
It wasn't as good. No, there was something just lacking about it this week. I don't know. And even the audience, you know, they looked reluctant. You know, they almost looked like they'd been locked into the arena, you know, and offered drink to go in or something. Just didn't feel like the same atmosphere as last week. I don't know. It's just my sense of it.
I've pinpointed this down to one factor, and this is the fact that Eric Sada was not in the arena at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And in actual fact, I did have a look on Instagram, as you do, and on some of the accounts, Eric Sada accounts, and there were people who'd actually travelled to Malmö to actually see Eric Sada.
Oh,
he wasn't there. And, you know, I'm just thinking maybe, you know, muted reaction. Of course, you'd have to love Eric Sada for that. But, you know.
So, final question to the panel. We've got 4 direct qualifiers so far. Out of the 4 direct qualifiers, is there a song in there that we think can win Eurovision? And I'm going to go from left to right, and I just want one name. Let's start with Elliot.
Hanna and LIAMOO.
Hanna and LIAMOO.
Definitely.
And why is that?
I think their chemistry is fantastic. It's very believable. A Young Couple in Love is very marketable as well. And this is a song which is right for a Young Couple in Love, not like Alfred and Amaya, for example. It feels right for them. Juries will love it. There's very little wrong with this performance apart from the billowing bedsheets. So just get rid of them. And yeah, I could easily see Sweden winning with this song. I'd be very happy to see this win, to be honest, as well.
Thanks, Elliot. Joanne?
I totally agree with Elliot. I was going to say exactly the same. They're both good singers. And the thing is, she's a really good singer. She's outstanding at one point. And I liked him last year. So I'm already bought into LIAMOO's, you know, so to speak. So yeah, I'm going the same, and I think they could win the whole thing with it, the whole competition.
Jana.
Well, I was in doubt. Maybe Victoria or Hanna and LIAMOO. And if I have to choose between those two, I also think Hanna and LIAMOO have the best chance to win Melodifestivalen this year. It was actually the chemistry was great. The song was great. Their voices were on tune the whole time. It was really good. Yes.
And Martin, are there any potential Eurovision winners amongst those 4? And you've got to remember them all now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Not being an avid MF fan.
No, I mean, it would basically be Hanna and LIAMOO, because I said when I listened to it, the first thing I put in the chat was that's the best thing this year so far. And, you know, I could see that winning Melodifestivalen, but obviously I don't really know what's coming up, whereas, you know, more experienced fans will probably go, oh no, such and such is going to be a lot better. But yeah, of the ones that we've had so far, that's the best. And it would add something different to the ones we've got going to Eurovision now, because, you know, it's just a sort of boy-girl love song type thing, which we haven't got. So, you know, I think that would add a bit to the diverse nature of what we've got so far.
Thanks, Martin. Moving on to the king and queen of ESC Fan TV. They're in residence. Phil and Michelle, what do you make of that question? Who for you, out of those 4 direct qualifiers, can win Eurovision?
Well, due to being drunk slightly last week, I've referred back to my notes. And out of this week and last week, according to the scroll I've got here, Victoria.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to agree. I wasn't a fan of Hanna and LIAMOO tonight.
Oh no, so they were shocking.
It wasn't my favourite. So I'm going to go with Victoria as well.
Yeah, Victoria.
Can you do the line, Michelle? Can you do the line, please?
Oh, it was awful.
Yay! Oh God, it was awful.
It was flat as anything. It was awful. What are you watching?
Moving on to Nicholas. Nicholas, are there winners in this 4?
You know, it would be so nice to see Sweden sending something else than a solo singer with an overproduced staging. Send Hanna and LIAMOO, and we'll actually have something different from Sweden for once. That's all I have to say.
And I'll come to you last, Tom, if I may. Ness.
Yeah, they need to strip the sheets, as it were, strip it down. Just believe in the pair of them and their performance, staging wise, and just go for it. It absolutely. If it doesn't come top 3 overall or win the Eurovision Song Contest, I'll be very surprised.
And finally, Tom.
Well, everyone's all talking about Hannah and LIAMOO. Let's not forget who actually won this semi-final. And I think that, Malou's got a chance with actually winning the whole thing. I think she's got a quite contemporary sound. I think she could actually spring another surprise. Quite easily spring another surprise.
It could be the same situation we saw with Franz a couple of years ago, where he just swept everyone away and ended up winning. Could be the same here.
Is he allowed to compete though? Is it because? Sorry, is she? Because is she 15? You say?
It depends when she turns 16, really. If she turns 16 before the contest, is fine.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they know that in advance. Otherwise, why would she compete unless she has been a shock, which Krista Bjorkman wasn't expecting, is now going, we have a problem. Juries, mark her down quick.
And just before we move on to Australia, because I've just had word we have technical difficulties in Italy. Andy may not be able to join us for some time, if at all. So we'll get hold of Andy at some point. We are going to move to Australia shortly. However, the answer to the question, which none of the panel seem to have connected with, is that it's none of those 4. The winner of Melodifestivalen and Eurovision this year will be one and no other than Dolly Style. Moving on to Mitchell.
We're all waiting for that.
I just wanted to say,
for the win.
Dolly Style all the way. Absolutely, Team Dolly Style.
You're obsessed, Stuart.
No, absolutely not.
You've done a roller coaster with them.
I am on a roller coaster, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing better than Dolly Style. Hey, Mitchell. G'day, mates. Hello. Hello to Australia.
There's a delay. There's always a delay with Australia.
No, we're getting no audio, Mitchell. We're going to have to come back to you, Mitchell. Try and sort that out, and then we'll say hello to you, and we'll get your take on Australia Decides, because he was there. Anyway, moving on to song 1. Ella Hooper this morning. Sorry, I should probably bring a bit more context. Australia decided their Eurovision national final and Eurovision entrant this morning. It was a fantastic show. Australia have had 4 entries, 4 direct qualifiers to the final. Their first performance in Eurovision proper was in 2015 with the song Tonight Again, which came 5th, of course. So 10 songs in their national final, Eurovision, Australia Decides. First song this morning or last night in Australia was Ella Hooper with Data Dust. And Martin, did this do it for you?
Well, we're not allowed to say anything about the physical attributes of the contestants now, are we? But I was going to say something nice, because Ella's, firstly, she looked incredible. Great opener yet again. Lots of energy. It was a perfect opening song for a national final. I'd love to go and see one of her gigs. And she really worked the crowd and the camera. It was never going to be a winning song, because it's not it wasn't that memorable. But as a starter, the producers obviously looked at this. Ella's going to be the one to go for. She was brilliant in that regard.
And Jörna, were you a fan of Ella?
Well, I didn't like her song that much. It was, like Martin said, kind of forgettable for me. And the choreography she was doing, like stretching her leg on the stage, it was like, what are you doing? The big
lacy black catsuit, if I do remember correctly.
Why are you doing that? It was a bit weird, but it was an okay song for me. Nothing special, but not a winner for me. No.
I was only the only person, and maybe because I'm a red-blooded male, I can say this and get away with it. But her catsuit was pretty on the revealing side, right?
Yeah, she needed darker undergarments on.
No, I was fine with it. I'm just going to put it out there.
No, I noticed that, and that's when I kind of looked down and went, "Oh, she had nice shoes on." I love the red shoes. Love the shoes.
Nice shoes.
Yes.
When she went across to the drummer and the other band members, I thought she was going to tell them they're out of time or something, because it just seemed really random that she was walking over to the drum set. I was like, what? But no, I mean, it was what I call a good solid BBC Radio 2 Ken Bruce tune that
I
he'd
agree.
introduced. Yeah.
I agree. And Andy's not here, but he would be here. He would tell you that he's sent me a text to say, "Wow, can't the UK send this instead?" That's what he sent me this morning. Song 2, Electric Fields, 2000 and whatever. Go and listen to Shade Away. Fantastic song. By Electric Fields. Really is. It's better than this as well. And this is a good song. Zachariah Fielding and Michael Ross complete the lineup of the 2 of Electric Fields. Phil and Michelle, you like this one, didn't you?
I did. When it first started, I wasn't sure that it was working well live, but the more it went on, the more I really liked it. It grew on me. It was a good song. It was different, a bit of an Aboriginal twist. But what a voice. That was fantastic. I really like this one.
I wasn't sure. Do you know, it was one of them weird things. Do I not like it or do I absolutely bloody love it? And then it's like, as it carried on, I went, do you know what? I bloody love it. Oh, absolutely phenomenal. It's like, what's wrong with the Aussies? Why did they not vote for this? And I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It should have won absolute hands down. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And Nicholas, was Electric Fields a fan favourite of yours?
Absolutely not. So this is, and
I'm gonna extra word.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for trashing this song because I know everyone seems to love it. I didn't get it. I didn't get the hype around it. I don't get the lyrics. I don't get the whole performance. It seemed very, very outgoing, but not in a great way. No, I thought the juries would kill this for sure. I thought this would be like bottom for the juries because this doesn't seem like a typical jury favorite song. It seems like one of those that fans like and that's it. But you know, I'm happy for them. And someone mentioned on Twitter that just seeing all those people in the crowd singing along to the Aboriginal lyrics on prime time, I think that says a lot, and they've already like won just by doing that. So I think it was a great moment for Australian TV history. So at least I can appreciate that, even though I don't appreciate the song.
Can I just say that David in the chat room has said that Electric Fields was the real winner. In his opinion, they were robbed, but the curse of the number 2 slot continues.
Definitely.
Certainly does. Certainly does. Ness, was this your winner?
Yeah, really, really loved it. And, you know, a lot of the times that you hear the backstories on the VTs that they run before the artists perform, you just think, oh, this is a bit trite or a bit, you know, they're just playing to it. But there was such a genuine meaning in what they were trying to get across and the relationship that they had with each other. I just thought it was lovely. It was slightly, at times, truncated, the song, so it didn't feel joined up completely. You know, the different parts, but otherwise, yeah, lovely to see the crowd. The energy from her was incredible and she was totally overwhelmed. So yeah, I think it perhaps should have got through, but justified second place. So.
Yeah, it didn't miss by much, in fairness.
No.
Did it? It came second on both the jury and the televote, and yeah, there it shall stay. Song 3, Mark Vincent, platinum and gold selling artist. I mean, this guy is huge in Australia. This is not the end. Sadly, it was. Joanne, were you a fan of Mark?
Not particularly, and I'm not saying he's not got a great voice, because he has. I just didn't think the song was that good. I did switch off at one point. I don't know, it didn't keep the interest. It seemed to go on and past the time it should have done. It obviously wasn't. It just felt that way. And it was a shame, because I thought that could have been something different that they sent, but sadly not.
And Tom, we saw him shed a tear. We saw him really open up on camera to what it felt to be a contestant for Eurovision Australia Decides. Did he blow you away at that point?
Yeah, he did. Do you know what? This was what I thought was one of the most underrated songs in the whole Australia Decides contest. I thought he had an absolutely fantastic voice. The song was moving. I had goosebumps when he was performing. For me, I don't see what else he could have done to actually do it. I think there's an often used phrase that some songs are too good for Eurovision. And I think in many ways, this song just wasn't the right fit for the contest he was going for, because I think it was an extremely good song, a very moving song. I thought his delivery was excellent in that. You can understand why he is such a highly respected artist in Australia. And in actual fact, I was genuinely quite upset that he didn't actually do any better when the voting actually came in.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, it didn't work out for him, did it? He will forever be a finalist. Song 4, Aidan Calafiore, now shortened to Aidan, with the song Dust. Not Data Dust, just Dust. Elliot, what did you make of Aidan?
This song was about as interesting as a pile of dust for me personally, first and foremost. Didn't like it on first listen. I really struggled to connect to this song. His voice is fine, but he had this really weird breathing technique. He'd breathe into the microphone, so you'd hear him do like these sharp breaths, and it just got really annoying really fast. He did well with the jury, like I expected. Did a lot worse with the televote, which I was very surprised about because he's young. He's just come off The Voice. He did well on The Voice, I thought. He's got a massive fan base as well, from what I can see on Twitter. Loads of people know him and love him. So I thought, oh, he's a dark horse contender. Yeah, this song was just okay. Something was missing for me. I'm not sure what. It's a radio song. It'll do great in the Australian charts, I'm sure. If it was played over in the BBC, you wouldn't think this was in a national selection either. Yeah, it was just there for me. You know, he's got a great voice, but the song itself just felt a bit like filler for the show, to be honest.
It sounds very commercial. I agree with you. I've written down here most commercial song of the 10. So yeah, I mean, he'll do very well. He's always incredibly popular. So yeah, Aidan Calafiore, Yerna. I mean, we heard a lot of screaming from the female crowd at Eurovision Australia Decides. But was this a favourite of yours?
No, absolutely not. He has a great voice, but the song itself, it was like a toilet break for me. Actually, I didn't find it interesting. It couldn't snatch my attention. I think it's a good radio song, but nothing more, nothing special for me. So
there is a bit of news I can tell you about this. Breaking news. Aidan's mic was muted in the jury final the night before.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't coming through, apparently. That's from people that were actually in the arena.
He's still got like fourth though, so it clearly works.
Yeah, no, but apparently they had to reset the song after about a minute and start it again. There was some issues there. Anyway, didn't help him, did it? So no. Aidan Calafiore, the song Dust. I think another one bites her. So song 5, Courtney Act. The Courtney Act. Massive in the UK. She made reference to it. I think she even made the comment that her phone is based in the UK. We all know she lives in London. She's a sort of a big UK resident now. Massive on RuPaul's Drag Race. Massive on the By Life. She is a star over here. Did that translate itself into Australian votes? Well, sadly not, but Martin's going to tell you why it should.
Why it should. Should because it was an amazing outfit. It was a great routine, spectacular to watch. Like the message of the song. The downside was that her voice barely appeared on the song at all. It was all backing singers, apart from the sort of solo bits of the verses for sort of like about 10-15 seconds. Apart from that, it was mainly all backing singers, and that's probably why. I mean, I'm surprised that she was hit quite badly with the juries. She did reasonably well with the public, but that's my thoughts why she was nowhere near winning this.
Unless you had Red Army Cadet dancers, they threw everything at this. There was there's some great choreography taking place. What did you make of Courtney Act? And should she have been the Australian representative at Eurovision 2019?
Oh, she was amazing in terms of energy. But if you're going to dance like that on the stage, then you're probably not going to have much breath left to actually sing a song. I don't know. I mean, given the other interval acts, like the Berlin chap. What's he called?
Hans.
Yeah, yeah. It all felt a little bit of time so kitsch and yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Without sort of, yeah. But it was fun. It was what it was, but did not deserve to represent Australia. I'm sorry, but I appreciated it, and my God, she's got beautiful skin.
And Nicholas, what did you make of Courtney Act?
She's definitely a great performer, no doubt about that. And I think this was a very great like in the middle of the show to kind of like get everyone's energy back up. The song was really nothing special, at least not for me. I liked her outfit as well, and I think it's one of those songs that should definitely, because I really liked this national final as a whole, because it had so many like different kind of songs, and I think this helped that to make this a diverse and great national final.
And finally, Phil and Michelle, Courtney Act, should that have been Australia's representative?
Well, it turns out Phil was actually wearing that outfit. What are the chances of that? I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. But I thought it was a good banging tune. It was a good use of the backing singers, because it's happened before where, you know, you've got the singer and in the corner, there they are. They're the real singers.
Yeah.
It was all right, but it was never going to win.
For me, I think if you were a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, you'd have probably liked it. But if you're an old bugger like me who's never heard of her before, then it was all right. I thought the outfit was better than the song, and she didn't really have the voice to do that song justice.
But who wore it better?
Yeah, moving on. Song 6, Leah Nanos with the song Set Me Free. 16-year-old Leah Nanos, the backstory is she wrote the song, offered it to SBS. They said, it's so good. You've got such a great voice. Why don't you sing it? She sang it. Nicholas, did it work for you?
Definitely. This has actually been on my Spotify playlist for the past month or so, and I've listened to it quite a lot. She was obviously very nervous on stage, and I think that's why she ended up second last. This was, I think, her first live performance ever. So obviously, it, you know, there were a lot of nerves there, but it seemed like she had really thought about her performance. She's kind of like the Australian Blanche in a way, and I think in a few years we could see her on the Eurovision stage, but she needs to work a little bit more on her nerves and everything. But I could definitely see her representing Australia in a couple of years.
And Tom, did Leah work for you? Because it came across, in my opinion, a little bit out of tune on stage. But you know, she's a great performer. Song's fantastic. What did it make for you?
Do you know what? I thought this was ultimately one of the great tragedies of the evening, really, because I would have thought, even though her live performance may not have won her any plaudits with the public, maybe the jury would have taken more of a rounded view in the jury final, because there was a great musicality to the song. There was a great tune, the lyrics. She had everything there, and I think it didn't deserve to come as poorly as it did. I mean, I think it was 10 votes from the juries and 11 votes from the public, finishing with 21 overall. And yeah, I liked it. It was never going to win, but I had it down as mid-table. I didn't have it down at the bottom.
Moving on to song 7, Sheppard, On My Way. One of the fan favourites moving into this contest. Joanne, Sheppard, should this have won?
Yes, I love it. The thing is, I love Sheppard, and I've been following them for a little while since I found out that they were going to compete. They were really up for it, and I really, on stage, I think, no, first of all, I was expecting the whole band. I wasn't just expecting the 3 of them. I thought that they had a band as well. So might be my error. But of course, that there was just the three from there. Then there was only the two of them really singing, apart from a little bit. I just thought that they just seemed a little slightly bit awkward. I can't really put my finger on it, but it just didn't look as polished as I thought it would be from them. However, the vocals are spot on. Song is catchy. I'm still thinking about it now, and I thought their popularity as well would pull them through, but it didn't work out that way. And to get third was even more of a shock for me, to be honest.
And finally, Elliot, just summarise Sheppard for us. What did you make of this one?
Great fun. Amy, the other singer, looked like a mermaid with a blue hair and a sparkly top, which I loved. It's a good fun song. I don't think it should have won. I think its third place was justified, and I think a lot of it was just hyped up because it was Sheppard. Sheppard sent a Sheppard song. We can't really complain.
And we're going to pause right there. We've got 3 more songs to cover. We're going to do that in a very short time. But I believe, yes, coming in direct from Italy, and you can tell it's Italian because he's wearing a very nice little bow tie. I don't know why he's on his side. Why are you sort of on your side, Andy?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Well,
Buonasera.
I mean, I haven't got to zero gravity yet, but I kind of feel like you're making a play for it. So, Andy, we're a bit pushed for time because you're late, primarily. However, can you just give us a bit of a run through on the San Remo contest? Not in any particular detail, Christ. And
True Eurovision. I have no idea if you can hear me. Right, tonight it's all about Loredana Bertè, who was married to Bjorn Borg and is the sister of Mia Martini, who is well beloved in Eurovision circles. And she's got a massive ovation tonight. She might win, and if she doesn't win, she might come second. The winner may not go to Eurovision, so we may be seeing Loredana Bertè finally in Eurovision.
Okay, and anything else of significance that's taken place, given it's a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hour show?
Oh, yeah, well, we're only a third of the way through it. The big favourite, Ultimo, has got a massive concert tour during April and May. So in all likelihood, he won't be able to go to Eurovision if he wins. And Il Volo, they're not going to repeat their success from 2015. They've sent basically the same song, but with a less catchy chorus. But the staging was absolutely identical. They haven't changed their shtick, not one tiny little bit.
So just quickly summarise for us, what would be your pick for Italy for Eurovision?
Right, well, it's not been on yet. It will be on in about half an hour's time. A young man called Irama, he's singing a song called Girl with a Heart of Tin, but it's a rousing anthem and it's got a gospel choir. Okay, now that wouldn't be the first rousing anthem with a gospel choir sung by a young man chosen this weekend, but this one would stand a chance of winning.
Great. Thank you very much for that, Andy. Before you go, I just want to say a big thank you to Andy. On behalf of ESC Fan TV, you've written the theme tune for our podcast. For those who don't know, Andy's part of London Vision. He came second in the homegrown song contest this past year. So congratulations on that success, Andy.
Yay, well done, Andy.
Thank you very much for writing the music for our podcast. Really appreciate it.
Okay, Stuart, what you don't know is that there are words being written for it, and I want all the guests to sing it for us.
Excellent. Don't overdo it. Back to Italy you go.
Bye-bye. Grazie.
Grazie.
And he's gone. Thank God for that. Oh, doesn't he go on? Anyway, moving on. And we're gonna carry on with Alfie Arcuri back to Australia. Martin, take us through Alfie Arcuri and his song To Myself.
This was really nice performance. I mean, they sort of went all Melodifestivalen with the sort of mobile lights, everyone with the lights behind him, sort of him looking at the camera, the crowd behind. Great voice, loved the lyrics, really connected well, and it obviously meant a hell of a lot to him. It's sort of a very personal song, and you could tell that when they were interviewing him afterwards as well. You know, it was sort of near to crying, and I saw it at the jury final and today, and both times he looked emotionally drained by the end of it. So yeah, it's a really, really good performance, and I'm quite pleased. He was never going to win because of the 3 top, people that were the top 3, but coming 5th, just behind Courtney Act, I think was a pretty decent finish for him.
Phil Michelle, that's not an instruction. The song To Myself, should that have done better for you?
No.
Oh, God.
I really thought I thought he was laying it on a bit thick. He was like, oh, give it a rest. But it's like everybody does it themselves, but not everybody writes a song about it. It's like, yeah, we get it, we know, we all do it. Shut your face.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. When you've got someone performing a song about such an important thing in their life, and trying so hard to get the sincerity across,
no,
it just was a bit too much for me.
No,
and my first thought was, just let it go, mate. Move on.
Yeah, we all know what you're on about. We all do it. Calm down, mate. It's not a big deal.
Does anyone get that he looks a little bit like Sergei from Russia?
No, he looks like Alfie Boe.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Can I just say, we have a winner in Montenegro.
Oh,
wow. Who's that?
Oh, we are crossing boundaries tonight on ESC Fan TV, aren't we?
Very surprising winner. It's not Andrea Demirovic.
No, saw that.
No.
It's Timo. The group.
Oh, blimey.
Nemo. Finding Nemo.
Demo.
Demo. Sorry.
So.
Just what I'd like to say, if you're actually keeping up with tonight's broadcast, we've covered Australia, we've covered Italy,
Montenegro.
We've done Sweden, now we've done Montenegro. I think that deserves a like on tonight's video. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you tune into our podcast. Back to Australia again. We're getting
we're not doing the Ukraine then, Stu.
No chance. Song, and we're going to skip song 9 because it won. We're going to go to song 10. Anya Doko. Yerna, was that a favourite of yours?
Well, it was not per se a favorite of mine, but it wasn't bad. I think it was kind of 5th, 6th place for me. She had a great voice. The performance was nice, but I couldn't see this winning. My winner was Electric Fields, but yeah, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
And Joanne, it's she clearly was one of the last singers to be asked to represent Australia in this competition. It's a mid-tempo pop song. Was it a song that you could have seen doing better, or was it right in where it finished?
Yeah, I think it was right. I mean, the first time I ever heard this, I thought that sounds rushed. You can tell she only had 3 weeks to get that ready for it. And I'm thinking, yeah, I understand that. I'm going to tell you that I thought she sang it really well. And did anybody else get Leah Cirque vibes from her because of the way she looked and just the way she acted a little bit? So, yeah, and I just thought to myself, yeah, you know what? She could pull it off and do really well. I didn't think she'd win, but I did think she may get a little bit better. But there were others much better. Much better.
Which comes to the winning song of the night. Song 9, we've done that in a different order. Miller-Heidke, massively popular in Australia. The song Zero Gravity. This is, for me, Cesar from Romania meets Kate Bush. Pop meets opera. It had everything in it. It had her with a massive dress that was, pushed up into the sky. You had someone dressed in black on a pogo stick behind. Tom, what did you make of this one?
Do you know what? Totally honest. When I first listened to it, I didn't like it. Unfortunately, I have had the chorus from Zero Gravity in my head all day. And Melodifestivalen did not actually take that out of my head. And being a good student of ESC Fan TV as well, I also did a little bit of research into it. And in actual fact, the story behind the song about the whole depression and recovering out of depression as well did kind of strike a chord a little bit as well. So I think she's got quite a good story behind the song. I do think the performance was absolutely bonkers. I think they're definitely guaranteeing themselves a slot after an ad break because I can't see how they're going to get that on the stage in Tel Aviv in time unless she changes it. Was it a deserved winner? Yeah, it'll do.
Ness.
Yeah, I thought she had a beautiful voice, unlike me. She was, incredible to mix the operatic. I mean, of course, it reminded me of Eleni, not Eleni. Elena. They all mix into one, don't they? Quite frankly,
Fuego.
Yeah, especially this time of night. No, she. The only thing that annoyed me when she did the final performance was somebody hadn't strapped the Velcro. Did anybody else notice that on just the left-hand side of a dress or right-hand side of a dress? Anyway, and the padding out, I love those two commentators, but they were really struggling, weren't they? They were like, for fuck's sake, will you just get the dress on, go up the ladder? Otherwise, beautiful song, and lovely that it comes from somewhere that isn't necessarily about love or, loss or anything like that, but something that affects so many people. So I think, international campaigning for people to feel free to express whether they'd experienced depression before. So liked it a lot.
We're going to go to Elliot now for one of the final comments of the evening. Kate Miller-Heidke.
Where do we start with this? I mean, first and foremost, stunning voice, we cannot deny. She has got an amazing voice. I was surprised she won the jury final because I was able to watch the jury final performances, and she was a bit rough on one of the operatic moments, but she was fine for the actual live performance. The staging is just, for me, it distracted way too much. I didn't get the whole depression vibe from it, and if I was staging it, I'd probably have the weird demonic metronome woman behind her.
The stalker pogo woman.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus, she's there. Oh, my God, she's there. Oh, stop touching my arm.
I did have to kind of do a double take because I thought it was a Death Eater from a Harry Potter film.
With the patronum.
With
Look, I only dressed up as Elsa to make myself feel better. I'm watching Frozen. Leave me alone.
It was, you're right. It's the merging of two films, isn't it? Frozen and Harry Potter.
Yeah, some horror film.
So I did show this to my friend who follows Eurovision but didn't follow Australia at all, and her first reaction was, it's if Frozen was an opera film. So there's that. I do think if they want to bring the dress idea to Tel Aviv, and I'm not sure the hall's even tall enough for her to fit in that, is have her on the floor and then it ascending away from the demonic, depressing pogo stick lady. Then that could be her ascending away from it. End of the day, great voice. It's clear Australia didn't want to send something safe and generic, which we've been, slagging them off for being a bit too safe, and this is not safe. There's a split people right down the middle. Some people hate it. Some people saying it's not going to qualify. I think she's certainly going to make it through. I have no concern.
Let's do just that. We're going to go around the panel.
Stu, sorry, I've had a light bulb moment. Can I just share with the panel?
You can in just a second.
No, it was a freaking metaphor, wasn't it? The pogo stick lady. She was the depression coming back. How did I not notice that? I've watched too much Eurovision today. Oh, Jesus, I feel so stupid.
We're so used to these weird stagings that we just expect it to be something weird and not something we should think more about.
A strong message.
Okay,
thanks.
Should we just leave it? Should we just say it's a Death Eater and leave it there?
Let's do it.
We've run out.
I'll throw some sertraline at it. It'll be fine.
We've run out of time. So what I want to ask the panel is this a qualifier or a potential winner for Australia? Elliot, one word.
Qualifier, yes. Winner, no.
Joanne.
Exactly the same. Qualifier, yes. Winner, no.
Yerna.
Well, it's the same, qualifier, but not a winner for me. Upright, not.
Your cat disagrees.
Martin.
So at the moment, I think it's too out there over the top to be a winner, but definite qualifier.
King and Queen of the Harrison residence.
I would say it would definitely qualify. It will definitely get in the top half. Probably
2 words, he said.
Yeah, but yes.
Quali third.
Quali third. Nicholas.
I expect this to do just slightly better than Jessica Malboy.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yes.
Oh Christ! Listen, we've been on the phone so long. You drained my battery. My camera switched off. What was the question? No, I think it may win the Eurovision. No, it won't. It will come about 8th or 9th because people are weird, and we know that from Netta. And it will split the audience and split the jury, and it may well come top 10.
Very good. Coming to Tom, final, and also Tom, give us an update on what's happening in the chat room.
Okay, right. First of all, where do I think it's going to come? Yeah, top 10. I'd like to see it win. Probably won't. Chat room says the stage was too much for the song. Says that David's saying it might not qualify, given the fact it's in semi-final 1. We've got the fact that maybe the staging is the problem as well. But can I just say, if Australia do win, the person I would love to see on that stage presenting for Australia is Hans from Berlin. Who did tell Joel Creasy this morning that he had the face of a hand model, which I thought was just brilliant, and it deserves mentioning.
Can we also know that we've got Serhat and Kate Miller-Heidke with that in the same half of Eurovision on Tuesday night? That's going to be brilliant.
Get your drink ready.
I hope they perform right after each other. I want Serhat right after that.
You know what we need? Whiskey cocktails, rum, rum, rum.
Rum, rum, rum.
And on that note, I think we should close down tonight's call. Thank you very much for joining us. Tom, you're hosting next week. I get another night off. Tell us about next Saturday.
Well, next Saturday, Stuart, let's not forget, it is the final of Esteilul in Estonia. Plus, also, we're going to be taking a look at Melodifestivalen Semi-final 3 as well. Plus, also keeping you up to date with all the other Eurovision developments that happen across the week. And as always, I will be joined by a fantastic panel of guests.
And don't forget, vote Dolly Style next week.
No.
I would.
That's a big thank you to everyone who's joined on the chat room. Make sure you click subscribe. Make sure you click the like button. Download the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn. It'll be ready Monday, along with yesterday's show, the full review of the UK Eurovision You Decide final, where we picked the UK picked Michael Rice, the song Better Than Us for the UK, for the win in Tel Aviv. From me and from my guest, it's good night. We'll see you very soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.